Hello, hello, hello! I'm Father Aaron, the Dungeon Minister. The Dungeon Minister! And happy New Year's Eve afternoon. New Year's Eve afternoon, a new holiday or a new celebration that I've invented. Mostly because I wanted to do something on New Year's Eve that included folks in Great Britain and Europe and parts beyond, because I know I've got some folks out there and wanted to include them. So I'm gonna pop on my phone so I can make sure that I'm still showing up. Hello, hello out there in TV land. Now, unfortunately, I've got the camera over here. Um, happy happy afternoon to all. Um, so I have to look over here to get my comments and over there to get in the camera. And the reason I don't put the camera here in a more sensible spot would be because then the boys would feel weird walking in and back and through the room, and this is not a closed off separate room, and I don't want to take over the whole house kind of thing. But hello, we are getting to. I don't know if we're too old to stay up all night. I don't mind it. I did last night, and I tell you right now, never ever try to do a church bulletin at 2 a.m. This morning, the list of hymns, most of them were okay, but one of the hymns, the number and the title did not match. So it was number 153, and the title was Angels We Have Heard on High, but that's not 153 in our hymnal. So, yeah, not great. Oh, bless you, Dungeon Delver. Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much. Oh, bless you. That's very kind of you. Hello, 8:30 Knickknack in the UK. That's what I figured it was, around there. Um, you have a live stream on your birthday. That means that every year on your birthday, people light off fireworks and stuff just for you. That's fabulous. That's fabulous. In the Garden of Eden by Iron Butterfly. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Angels we have heard are high, on high, mage, on high. Oh, Road March, COVID for the new year. Well, bless you. That's fun, isn't it? Ugh. Oh well. Guess a lot of chicken soup, a lot of broth, and a lot of staying in bed, I suspect. Oh, here we got Fleetwood's in here grabbing a book because he's helping his brothers roll up some characters for a 50th year anniversary celebration game that he's launching in 2024. Happy New Year to Bob. Hello, Elf Bait. I know the in the Garden of Eden. Some Simpsons in my life. No, probably not. No, this doesn't help. This doesn't help. Oh, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, that I do know by Iron Butterfly. Yes. Painting zombies for the new year. Very good, Dirty Basement. And I understand you're going to be making a baby head that looks like me. Fabulous. I would love to see that. Actually, I'd be terrified to see that, but it would be funny anyway. I'm going to, in case there's anyone out there with webcam and a desire to join in the fun, I'm putting in the feed a link to the StreamYard. And if you'd like to jump in and say hello to folks as well, you're more than welcome to click that and you'll appear on my screen and I'll make you appear on everyone else's as well. So if anyone would like to join in and have a chat. I can't wait for the baby head either, Richard. That's yeah, it would be grumpy. It would be funny to see my players' reaction the first time they saw it. I think it might terrify and horrify them, and I might have to sleep on the sofa for a week after that because I think it would so unsettle my wife. Hey, excellent, RC Gunner. You ran part 1 of the Poison Well. That's fabulous. How did it go? How did it go? Can't find your can't find your bucket. How did I'd be interested to know, RC Gunner, how Poison Well went the first bit of it. I always wonder on that when I write an adventure, how much of this is translatable for just anyone to run, and how much of it is something that you kind of had to be there, you know? Because I've never written. Like I said, that's not true. I have written adventures for someone else. Um, I wrote an adventure for Battle and Barrel, but because he plays a sort of 5e Beckme hybrid, the power balance was all off. The power, not power, the challenge of it, was meant to be much harder, but when you bring 5e into it, things get shifted. So he had to adjust how he was doing it. Had to throw in the troll. Almost killed a couple of them. That's good. We had so many. The troll ended up not being that big of a deal. First level, actually no, second level, mostly second, 1/3 level characters wiped out a troll, but it was because there were 10 of them, right? We had a huge group. And looking back, I probably should have had 2 trolls under the bridge, or 3 or something, right? That would have been. Schlag went back to those ruins and is currently panning through the silt of the bottom of the water looking for that gold piece. Good, good, good. I'm glad to hear that, RC. I tried not to give too much, like, this is how you should do it, right? Like, it should just be, here's the adventure, do with it as you please, right? Because I don't like too much hand holding in adventures. I don't like it when I read an adventure like they're telling you how to run the thing. I can do that. Just trust me. Just give me the stuff. Excellent. Glad to hear it, Bob. I'd love to hear how these things go. In case you're wondering what they're talking about with the Poisoned Well, if you've watched the 3 episodes of the Poisoned Well, it was the adventure that I ran. Oh, we got someone coming in here. I just noticed. Sorry, Delver. Hello, Mr. Delver.
Hey, Padre, how are you? Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year to you too. I was just saying, in case people don't know what the Poisoned Well is, it was the adventure that opened CleriCon. I did a recap of it, but I also made that adventure available as a download for patrons. So there's a copy of it to play. How are things down Florida way?
Nominal. I
No,
can't complain. I mean, I could, but who'd listen, right?
I would. I'm actually paid to listen to that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. You have a mandate to do it, don't you?
I do. I do. Um, Ooh, 6 points to a 6th level thief. Almost got that would do in a thief. Um, we're here just finally getting winter back. We had this all around Christmas, leading up to it and afterward, warm weather and a thick, thick fog. It
Oof.
was nigh undrivable many nights. During the day it was dicey, and at night it was really, when it comes down to it, I risked life and limb at various points. It was not wise, but you had to do it. You got to drive. You got to do a Christmas Eve liturgy. You got to come home afterward, right?
Right.
Um, Hello, Lord Cass 2000. I had a wedding in a nearby town. The wedding was yesterday, and that was fine. It was early enough. I was driving back. It was still kind of light, but the rehearsal was on Thursday.
Hmm.
It was especially because I don't normally drive that route. So it was a sort of white knuckle driving um, all the way down. I imagine things are warmer in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to get above 70, but not below like 42 for the next couple of weeks. So it's nice, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
It's not too bad. I know 42 is like, where's my bathing suit for your Canuckistanians? But down here in Florida, that's, that's like Hoth, it's like the battle in the snow down here. It's,
Well,
cruel dress up by the sea.
42 would especially be warm for us. Since it's Celsius, it would be very, very warm. Hey, we've got
Oh,
Mage's Musings on the line too. Um, hello, Mage.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, in Celsius, that's 100-degree
yeah.
weather around
You,
that
you, you
that
guys,
level.
I forgot you use the communist measurement system.
The one based on the boiling of water rather than the way things feel. Let's see here. Such to follow up a couple comments. Hello, Ian. Hello, Longshot. Um, Knick-knack, the UK's weather forecast for tonight is for strong winds and rain all night. Not exactly ideal. New Year's weather. No, I suppose it's not. I suppose it's not. But very UK though. Very, very United Kingdom. Snow in eastern Iowa. Only an inch of snow last night. Uncle Brad, you're in Minnesota. There were people trapped on the ice. I hear in Minnesota, 100 people trapped on an ice floe. Lot of ice fishermen out there.
Isn't that Metallica song? Trapped on the Ice?
I don't know.
It could be.
Hello, Wave. Yes, the temperature scale that the rest of the world uses. So how are things going with you, Mage? And I don't hear grumpy old Slan yet, but I see his
blank avatar. Yeah.
blank
There he
avatar.
is.
There he is. He's there. Good,
Yeah.
good. How are things going for you?
They're going. They're moving. My place sold finally, and
Go for it, Sean.
Just waiting for closing.
Very good. Very good. So this is something that. How long have you had it listed? Because you moved.
It was listed early November, and so we got the formal offer, I guess, 6 weeks after I listed. After trying various things, we lowered the price. We tried a bidding war, and then we raised the price, and finally had to take a bit of a low ball, but low ball that was high enough that's like, okay, I can go with it.
Right. Yeah, we were looking at the market a few years ago when things were just crazy around here, and we're very tempted to pull the trigger, but we sort of like, where would we go?
Where would you go? Yeah.
And then you'd have to take that money and buy an equally expensive house. If you're going to stay in this area, you might as well not bother. The ice floe broke away from the shore. That's the people's out ice fishing, correct, Uncle Brent? That's I gather they've been rescued by now. Getting the rest of the world to play football correctly. I'm not going with you on that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Soccer, organized loitering. No, I'll go for American football. Trapped under the ice is Metallica.
I'm just going to say this, just one more mention about, proper versus metric measurement systems. There's two kinds of countries in this world, boys and girls. There's those who put men on the moon and those who use the metric system. So, I guess just you make your judgment calls from there.
Yes, that is true. There's one.
Right.
Well,
just freedom units.
You make your judgment calls from there. Yes, that is true.
I think you got an echo going on.
You make your judgment calls.
You need to mute your channel there.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, can I mute him here?
I don't think that's me.
No, it was when Lawrence joined in. He's got some feedback going on.
Just turn off the speaker if you can.
Yeah, I've muted him, which is not the solution because then he can't talk. But do
you have headphones?
Do you have headphones on? So Lawrence, you'll want to have some headphones because otherwise we're getting feedback from you. We're getting an echo. We're getting a repeat echo.
Is that working?
I don't. Let me talk and see if I hear myself.
Echo. Getting a repeat echo.
Yeah, we're still hearing you.
Working?
You're going to need to put headphones in so that so that we don't hear ourselves over and over again. God bless you. Thank you, Uncle Brat. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. It is far too early for ice fishing. I agree. So is that what they were doing out on the ice, though? Was that what they were doing out on the ice? Knick-knack. God bless you, super sticker. In sterling pounds, no less.
Mm-hmm.
God bless you. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I hope Lawrence can come back with the sound sorted because it would be lovely to have him there. Yeah, so they were ice fish. It is too early to ice fish, man. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till the ice can take the car.
You gotta wait till there's some actual ice.
Yes. Yeah. Well, gather there is some in Minnesota because people were floating around on it. Grumpy, how are things?
Tossing a few ice cubes in the lake doesn't count.
No. How are things up your way, Grumpy? Because you're in the cold zone of Canada.
Yeah, no, kind of like you. We had no snow for Christmas. We had maybe half an hour of a few snowflakes earlier today, but it's all gone now.
Yeah.
yeah, it feels like September, late, October, November type thing. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
it's
things
weird.
are going all right.
Yeah. The squirrels here are out running around like digging up all the nuts. Hey, it's spring now.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry anymore.
I feel for them, really do.
Yeah, sure you do. Sorry to hear that, Lawrence. Your headphones. Yeah, it's just I don't know if you were hearing it on your end, Lawrence. But we were getting like a loop. We kept hearing
Yeah, tremendous echo.
my annoying voice, and I got to hear how annoying I really do sound. Just got done running a DCC game down to 4 characters from the 12 that started. Brutal.
That's DCC
Brutal,
for you, especially if
Yeah.
it's the funnel.
That's a brutal start.
Yeah.
The cold zone of Canada, there actually is a warm one. Yes, actually, here in Ontario, where we stick down into the United States for warmth, we stick down into the Midwest. We huddle around our TVs, getting American TV signals, absorbing American culture through our pores.
Put on the fireplace channel. So long as it's from the States, it'll be warmer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So looking into, first of all, did anyone here do Dungeon 23 this past year? No?
No.
Thank you, Richard Dungeon
No.
Crawler. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Happy New Year's to you, too. No Dungeon 23. We tried in our house, all 3 boys and I tried Dungeon 23, and only Fleetwood is going to midnight tonight, finishing the last and having a full 365 room dungeon. I made it somewhere into June with the full design and somewhere into August with just the map. And I thought, I'll go back and I'll fill these rooms later, but I'll at least map it out. Har, har, har.
That's sort of like I'll edit it in post, isn't it?
That's about it. That's about it. Yeah.
I'll fix it in post. Yeah.
So I've decided that I'm actually not behind on Dungeon 23. I'm just really, really ahead on Dungeon 24.
Yeah, there you go.
I've got the edge.
I did Dungeon 0.
Dungeon 0. Is that Year of Our Lord? Happy New Year, Cal. The American Standard Measurement System is the greatest in the world. We only use metric for medicine, science, aerospace, engineering, and other minor things. But you know what? It's true, actually, Calvin, because you ask any Canadian or Brit how tall they are, they're not answering in centimeters. No one's saying, well, I'm 137 centimeters. No, it's always in feet and inches.
I'm
right?
6'3", not 191 centimeters. Yeah.
Who in the Commonwealth, anywhere in the world, says, yeah, let's nip down to the pub for 0.75 liters of beer? It's a pint. You're going out for a pint.
It comes in points.
It comes in points.
It comes in pints.
Always.
You have a whole half
comes
already.
In pictures.
There you go.
That's probably that's the economic choice at any rate. All those hobbits, they should have gone in on one. So the boys are in the other room right now, rolling up their characters. I've been told that there's a magic user and a thief have been rolled. So I'm gonna have to roll up some sort of tank of some kind. Otherwise, they're gonna be
characters for what?
So Fleetwood is running a celebration game, he's calling it, for the 50th anniversary. And they're very happy that the 50th anniversary happens in the same year as the Year of the Dragon. They're all quite excited about this. So
nice.
I gather we're going to be fighting dragons.
That is a fun little coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So we're gonna he's rolling up. They're all rolling up Beckme characters, so we're gonna play some good old basic and get into it. Because of miniatures, I know the smaller metric stuff too well. Yes, that does happen. Although then when you get to the board, it's in inches, right? It's still in inches of 5 foot square.
No.
25 millimeters.
It depends on what you're on what you're going by. If you're going by chainmail, it's a 1 inch is a 3.5 foot. It depends on dungeon scale. Basically, right. 3 men fight abreast in a dungeon. But they amended that to be 5-foot squares. I don't know. I just go by the 3 can fight across in a dungeon scale of AD&D. Yeah,
I'll adjust. Well, AD&D uses a 3.3 foot for combat scale.
Yeah.
So that way you have
that's
3
what I was trying to say.
10, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll just use whatever the system is. I'm not going to adapt. Like AD&D works great with the 3-foot scale because that mathematically equals works with the movement rates. So if you have a 12-inch movement rate, you divide that by 3, you get 4. It means you can roughly move 4 squares in a segment. So if you're breaking down the segments, that works out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's harder to do that if you switch to the 5-foot measurements of the other systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, the math becomes problematic. As whichever side of the ruler fits the gap best. Well, that's it. You get the ruler that's got the 2 on, one on each side, and it becomes harder to convert. Cal, you have a horde of miniatures because you're bored. The question is though, do you sleep on your horde of miniatures? And if you do, what condition are they in? Oh.
Yeah.
So I have news to share.
And what condition are you in when you sleep on all those pikemen?
Yeah, exactly.
Wake up. Well, like Smog had the gems all encrusted in his armor. Yeah, you have miniatures sticking to yourself. Yeah. You have to find where there's a miniature missing. That's the only place you can stab Cal. But I have some news to share. The announcement, and I notice we're a little ways in here. 38 people watching. That's a good number to announce to. That the date for CleriCon 2024. Drum roll. Thank you. We are going on October 25, 6, and 7. I think that's the weekend. I should have had that open in another window. Late October, the last weekend of October of 2024. Yeah, 25, nice. 26, 27. It's going to be CleriCon 2024. And as I've told you folks before, both you, Sean, and you, Grumpy, that there is an open invitation to all those who participated last year. It's pretty much an open invitation to anybody who wants to come and run a game. But you guys especially would love to have you back at it if you are available.
I plan to be there. Well, it's October, so who knows what the future will bring. But yeah, my schedule is clear.
At the moment, there's nothing on my calendar. Yeah.
Do you need more trivia questions?
Pardon?
Do you need more trivia questions?
I could. Yeah, that'd be lovely to have some trivia questions.
Yeah, those trivia questions were brutal.
I'd like to think it speaks to my nature.
and that's the person who won it talking there.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations! Clearly, I need to tighten my game up.
Well, someone has to win. It's whoever gets the most, even if it's only one. So, RC Gunner, you're a late October baby, eh? Or an early November, perhaps? Hello, James. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah.
The rare and elusive James Keck.
Yes.
Isn't he the one that donated those books? The ones that the Blazing Sixes and the other one?
Yes, he was.
All right.
He was. It's the one and only James Keck of Telescope and RPG fame. Bless you, Lawrence. That's very kind of you. They went over really hot. Those were very popular. The boys were a little disturbed because I did keep. I think I told you before. I did keep a mushroom for myself, and they watch it very closely to see if it's moved. As in, I've been looking at it to design an adventure around it.
I see.
Now, so far, they've been all in the frozen north, so mushrooms probably not a big threat for them right now. But
so when they're not looking, you have to move it to different places in the house.
Are they in the room at the moment? And now they will have seen it move.
That's true. That's true. The dust profile is the same.
It would be me.
Hey, how you doing, Elf?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing all right. General Nut, so am I. So am I. Merry Christmas, evolution of gaming. And RC Gunner was born on the 22nd. That is close.
So with CleriCon in October, I may just get the last CleriCon review caps up in time.
Yes, we've been waiting because
I know. I had planned to have them out by the end of November, and then I just kind of my energy dropped off with the stress of the sale and the move and all that. And I just, you know what, I'm going to bury myself in Fallout for a month. And so
I just figured the puppets were on strike, but
well, I have a new setup here, and so I've been also
You should
playing
stream
with the
those
lights.
games.
Although I did get this for Christmas. Can you see it there? A ring light there.
ring light, very nice.
Very nice.
So,
Very
Oh,
nice.
nice.
you're an official YouTuber now.
I'm an official YouTuber. Yeah.
You just
Well,
need some purple
speak up
backlighting and you'll be set, right?
I noticed that when I was recording, and you'll see it in some of the videos because I could never figure out how to fix it, was the light, the exposure meter would automatically adjust. So I'd go dark and light depending on where I was in relation to the light. So I needed something consistent. So hopefully that'll make a difference.
Yes. Yeah. Well, when I got a ring light and a couple of small like LED panel lights, and I watched the old stuff, and it's all lit. You can see me, my older videos, but it's kind of flat. I was underneath a fluorescent light, and so now I'm around a corner and behind blankets and a blanket fort I've built for myself to try to keep the echo down. And
I use the blanket as a sort of backdrop. It's concealing my D&D goodness. Look at all that stuff.
why would you want to hide that?
Why would you hide that? Expose your D&D goodness. Show us your glory.
For you guys, sure.
Yes.
There we are. Look at that.
This is as it should be.
Well, when I do the puppetry, I need a neutral background. That's why that's up. But,
Well, yes, for the puppetry that does make sense.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I always want to have blank space because of the things and the comments that appear on screen. I can't have any stuff. My wife was saying I should film it here at home with my bookshelves behind us because there's all sorts of wonderful stuff on there. But the problem being the noise.
Well, I remember
but also the background.
and don't you remember the screw in the wall incident? That was just
Yeah.
too
Oh,
much for
yeah,
much
that's
of
great.
your audience.
Yeah,
I just
that
have
was-
my messy basement, so
That's all right. That's all right. If you're not having stuff pop up, you don't need a clear background.
yeah.
So a question for Sean, pre-house move, what was the average turnaround from running sessions to posting the video ECAPs?
oh, well, when I wasn't behind, I could probably get one up in a couple of days. The whole process is about 12 to 16 hours to make one of the recaps. Because I have to set up the minis and take the pictures of the tableaus. I have to do the recording. I have to edit do the sound editing on my voice and clean up the sound. I now have a friend doing that for me, generally speaking, so that saves me a couple hours. And then of course there's the video editing.
What is this editing you speak of?
Yeah. It's a foreign concept.
I have seen you, Delver. I have seen some of your videos where you do that neat little swoop in at the beginning. That's not happening live. You're doing that.
That's canned with Filmora, but I'm not lying. Like, I will straight up the blooper reels on the Dice Advent, like 3 minutes into a video, and if like I, as frequently happens, knock something off, I will stop, dump the video, and just do it again.
Wow.
I edit. No, just you get it in one go, or
132 straight takes,
yeah. I am like Kubrick over here. I'm
rather
like,
than learning editing, right?
we're getting everything is coming. It is basically a recorded live stream with those videos in mind. Although I do have, I hope to by end of next week. I'm doing basically a 2023 retrospective on every horrible thing that Wizards of the Coast did. And that will require some editing. I'll have to actually like write a script and all that jazzmatazz. So get ready for that. So I may have to learn editing real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not
thinking
that
it's going to clock in about 45 minutes to an hour long. But, I can do like the creepy urban legend and unsolved disappearances channels, just drop my voice by a few octaves and have a black background behind me. In
you remember?
2023, Wizards of the Coast made the OGL disappear. What happened? You know, like that.
You could do the Jonathan. Was it Jonathan Frakes who did the unsolved mysteries?
Or
He always
Robert
come in
Stack.
and
Yeah.
lean on some kind of counter and talk to the camera in a real casual like. And 17 people were murdered, and they've never figured it out.
I've got something just for this moment. Hang on a second. Let me see. Here we go.
It's false. No way.
There
Not
you
this
go.
time. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total.
There you go.
Yes.
Speaking of unsolved mysteries, whatever happened to the screw? The screw that was in the wall behind me that drove people so crazy. Grumpy Old Slant's quite correct. Someone picked it up. Actually, I gave it to Daxon, who was there. It was one of the people who complained most bitterly about it. Hello, Mobius. Good to see you. And I handed it to him, and he said he's going to take it and find a little piece of paneling that would match, paint it the right color, screw the screw into it, and frame the whole thing. We'll see how that goes. Oh, well. So it's Disney. A little bit. The Horrible Things be a 5-hour-long video.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Hey,
Yeah.
in almost exactly 8 hours, Disney loses Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, eh? That has been that.
They didn't file some lawsuit to keep it.
I think it's at some point like it's
It
got to run
failed.
out, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing it since like the 1990s.
The whole animation community is discussing this, and specifically, okay, it's the Mickey Mouse with no white gloves because he didn't have white gloves, and it's the one like this particular design because most people don't notice or maybe don't realize it until you point it out, but over the years, Mickey Mouse has slightly changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in terms
vastly from the early thing. If you take him today, it's like Garfield. If you take the first Garfield ever and look at Garfield now, are they still making Garfield?
Yeah.
Oh, good
here
heavens.
and there, merchandise at least. The original Garfield actually looked really kind of like crap.
Yeah, it was sort of a wedge shaped. He was sort of a quarter of a circle, really.
I mean, I liked the comic and the writing back in the day, but that was definitely a Garfield head when I was a kid. But yeah, those early ones are kind of rough.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Hello, Classy Wolf. Can't stay for long due to a D&D game. Hey, well, that's a good reason to miss. But wanted to make a quick stop, say Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to you as well. In an hour and a half here locally, so you must be somewhere in Europe, I would imagine. I hope you have a good coming year, too. Apart from the scene where Mickey whistles at the wheel due to them using it in their opening. Ah, yes, that's right. So that has been used in later stuff. Does that make it copyright?
No, that doesn't renew the copyright.
Could just be trademarked footage.
You can right
something
now,
like
like
that.
tomorrow, anyone can post up Steamboat Willie its entirety.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go, and put original OG Mickey into any scenario.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's a first-person shooter coming out that uses that style.
With the sort of bouncing.
It's a full black and white Steamboat Willie first-person shooter where you're a private detective.
Oh.
You're not Steamboat Willie. I think you're kind of like one of the
gaming must be a
characters,
nightmare.
but
BioShock Mickey Mouse edition.
Kind of, yeah. But it's awesome looking.
BioShock Mickey Mouse.
I'm not much for first-person shooters, but just the style that whoever made it is a labor of love. It's like the most recent RoboCop game that came out, where whoever made it just absolutely adores the original RoboCop.
Right. Well, I'm glad. I have to say, the internet being the internet, I'm glad that it first went to violence, because the alternatives are not good at all.
That probably already exists anyways.
Yeah, it probably does. Probably does.
You don't want a Bibles
with the name Willie in there. It's got
with a name like Willie, it's got to be good. So Classy Wolf in Finland, that's fabulous. We have Finland. I saw Carl was on here earlier, so there's Malta, there's the UK, we got Oz, we got the US, Canada. We're all over the map here. That's fabulous.
You draw a truly international audience, Dungeon
Well,
Master.
that's the beauty of the internet.
We can see it right behind you there.
Yeah, that's right. Try to put pins in. I should put pins in wherever I know that I've got someone who watches.
Just go to the analytics on your channel. Take a look.
I do.
In the audience back, it's been a number of months. This guy was clocking in from Taiwan, which I thought was just absolutely awesome. Like of all of the places where I would have expected somebody to give a damn about old D&D, Taiwan was not up on my list, and this wasn't like an expat or a serviceman or somebody. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, but that's fabulous. Yeah, I think
Island.
There was someone in was it Malaysia who was watching for a while? I actually haven't looked at those analytics for a while now. And generally, it's the U.S. right at the top, right, and then the U.K., Canada, and then Australia, all the Anglosphere, and then it goes down from there. And you really have to dig deep to see if you're getting people from you're getting 2 or 3 viewers from a country. You'll have to dig. Rule 34 will not be denied.
Oof.
Arg.
I don't even know what that means.
And you don't want to.
Hey, this is a family-friendly channel here.
There we go. Good. I will prevent any of that knowledge from seeping in. Hello, head of Touchberry. You're showing up on camera. So Touchberry, for the last year, I think starting at New Year's Eve or New Year's Day of 2023, has been collecting cardboard tubes, from toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, wrapping paper, etc. He's been collecting them because he wants, at midnight tonight, he wants them all to be dumped over his head. I don't know why. I don't know what that's about. But he wants to have cardboard tubes dumped over his head.
Tell him when Hamlet said to be or not to be, that's not what he meant.
Oh, okay. So I got to repeat this joke. It's awful. I don't think Sean is a dad, but he could be. He's getting honorary dad status.
I'm a crazy uncle, so I get
a crazy uncle. So it's a crazy uncle joke. That when Hamlet said to be or not to be, that's not what he meant. Get it? Get it? That's awful. That's awful. It is absolutely evolution. That is Touchberry doing Touchberry things, and the only thing that would be more Touchberry is if they were on fire when he did it.
But, I was gonna say, as long as he doesn't do the Torchberry thing with the
light them all on fire for the new year.
Fill them all up with explosive powder, and
Oh, alas, poor toilet. I knew him, Horatio. Oh, James. Not good. Ignorance can be bliss. Yeah, you probably found out more than you wanted to there on the Rule 34. Don't give me any ideas. Indeed, I don't need to. Actually, they've given me an idea, and they've been right now. Bob Johnny's holding up a sign for me. Yes. Design the castle, he says. So what this is about is that Touchberry does not require stuff like reasons.
So remind me, your kids, Touchberry's the middle?
Touchberry's the middle guy. He's the one who played in your game.
Right.
And Fleetwood is the eldest, and Bob Johnny the youngest. Bob Johnny has now, for a long time, it's been a couple of years at least, been DMing a game for me, a solo game for me, although I have NPC companions. Been DMing a game, and my character is now 9th level fighter, a lord, and so we're getting into the territory where I can get land, and there's a threat coming down from the north, as there often is in fantasy. There's a threat coming down from the north, and I have gone to the Duke and asked permission to have land up there to build a castle to act as a bulwark and defense against this. And just today we played the adventure where I finally got to the dwarves, and because I want them as my stonemasons, and asked them and hired them to do the job, and we've traveled to the site, and now I have to design the castle. So they want me to design the castle on the live stream. so I can get feedback from folks. Romeo, wherefore zoms Romeo? That may be a young person joke that I don't understand. Like this wedding that I did, I was at the rehearsal dinner. I was seated across
Romero's
from
the
two
name of the guy
20-something.
Yeah, Romero.
it's Romero,
created zombie.
Oh,
Romero.
Romeo Romero. Okay,
Yeah.
I missed this. I missed it. Yeah,
Took
but
me a second too.
this wedding, I was seated across from these two like teenager, early 20s girls, and they were talking, and the old folks and I, as if I'm not one of them, on the other side of the table, we couldn't understand anything they were saying. You know,
I was
all sorts
watching
of stuff about Rizzler and.
I was watching something earlier. Somebody was reading from a novelty book, but it's basically the Gen Z
If
translation
any
of the Bible.
comfort, our parents felt the same way about us when we were that age.
I suspect so, but they were at least words back then. We were using them in a strange way, but they were words. This was all very strange. The Gen Z copy of the Bible, that would be
Oh
terrifying.
yeah, it was. I'm like, is this English? Of course, they were leaning into every
really.
bit of slang. Of course.
Yeah, they would do. They would do. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, too low. Okay, there we
Crazy
go.
Cam.
Let's see if
I think it's pronounced Toulouse, but
Oh man, dad jokes in Florida are ripe. All right, I don't know how well this shows up.
well, I tried to make a better impressionist. What can I tell you?
Oh,
Wow.
Hey, look, don't paint me with a brush of making bad dad jokes, okay?
Come on, it's got to end
He's
somewhere.
painting himself into a
So,
corner.
Bill, are you going to make the trek up to CleriCon this year?
Ah, very good. Maybe I'll stop up there and say hello, Dali.
Oh man, it's visible. Okay, you're a teacher, so you're conversant in Gen Z. Totally rad, dude. See, yeah, rad. I mean, I know rad, radical. I guess Riz is charisma. We should do that for all of the stats. How's your strang doing? What kind
I
of
find
strang
it
does your
amusing
character have?
that game terminology has slid into general slang. So,
Yeah. So here we go. We start with there's an existing tower on the site, 20-foot radius round tower, and so I'm going to make that that's going to be the center of the complex. And ironclad about defending a medieval castle. Oh, that'll be fun. All right. So, and I got myself. It's probably not as much as I thought it would be. I got myself 900 feet of wall coming. A curtain wall. My idea is that eventually I'm going to stick a keep on the side of this to expand it, but the tower will start. So I got to get a wall around this. Can I even get that much? Let's see. Don't want to be too close. It's a 10-foot square. So castle wall's 10 feet thick, correct? Yeah. Is it 10 feet? Or is it 20?
It's however think you want it to be.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. But it's in the
Yeah, they
it's in
often
the book.
were 10 to 20.
I think their
Depends on the
default is
castle.
10.
Yeah. The thing says 20-foot width, but I didn't know if they meant height because the Beckby books, God bless them, are full of typos. 900 feet is not much, Uncle Brat. You're right. I'm going to have to buy more wall because I'm already up to 5, and I only got one side here. Only got one side. That was 90. Prices in here. So apparently, Fleetwood tells me the prices in Adventure Conqueror King are identical to the ones in Beckme. Because you know this book and I don't, can you find it for me? Thank you. Bless your soul. Bless you, child. Bless you. Okay. So yeah, here we're going. It is absolutely identical. The castle wall, stone castle, 20-foot high, 100-foot long, 10-foot thick. Oh, well, look at that. Look at that. That's actually not too bad. All right.
Isn't Axe just a Beckme retro clone, or is it somewhat different?
I gather it's more of a BX retro clone, so there's some things aren't. Make it 21 feet thick so a pass wall spell won't get all the way through. Oh, Ian, that is devilishly clever.
20 feet 6 inches.
20 feet. 20
The
feet.
ultimate, just giant FU to your players, right? 20 foot and an inch.
An inch. Oh, if I go out, I got 900 feet to work with. So there's 50. There's 50. I'll make them 10 because that's what the book said. Okay, there's 60.
Mott and Bailey Castles, RC
90.
Gunner. After I get over this fence, I just got to run up a hill.
There you go. 120. Well, that's only 120. That's only 120 feet of wall. You know what? Build a mountain valley, call it a day. Well, yeah, it's kind of like that though. The ground is the ground is in that kind of shape. What did David Brown? Let's see. I'm trying to follow some. Just swung by. Say Happy New Year to all lovely people. 47 minutes left in the UK and off to bed. Good health and happiness to one and all. Well, you know what? 9 o'clock is about when I would like to do New Year's Eve as well. I'm tired. Let's see. 21. All right. So, yeah. 8. Oh, see, 11. That's more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I got 140 feet here. I got some. That's 160. Oh, this is going to be a problem at all. 900 feet of wall. Golly, I can do a lot with 900 feet. I don't need to be that close.
You still want structures inside. You got to live somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I'm living in the tower
And
to
you might
start
want
with.
extra walls around your gate.
Well, there's a gatehouse. I bought a gatehouse. That's included in my budget. I bought a gatehouse. I'm just going to do this and count up how much I make and see if.
Don't the houses in that construction system have their own dimensions anyways? They're counted as separate.
They do. You can buy a house. You can buy a house that like a civilian dwelling, which this would count as inside the curtain wall. You can have it more of a civilian thing. I don't think I'm anywhere near 90 squares here. What are you doing? Are you taking? I got myself a bowl of nuts to snack on, and I realized that would be a really bad thing to have crunching in your ears, so I didn't do that. Be guarded by the French. They're pretty laughing in your general direction. Okay, I'm going pretty standard square here. Pretty standard. I'll go one more. I think I can afford this. I think.
RC Gunner makes a good suggestion. Put a ditch on the outside of that wall, and you get an extra 10 feet of elevation.
That is a good idea. That's a very good idea. And they have a price for ditch, and it's not very much. I may not. I came close to my max. I may not have enough for it in this round, but I will be able to. I will in later. I just have to kill a couple dragons.
So you're lord now. Did you clear out 50 square miles of land around your keep?
Yes, actually, that's part of what we were doing today. And I actually made some allies as well with a griffin. I made an ally of a griffin, which is going to help immensely.
Is the griffin any good with a shovel? He can help you with the
castle.
What's that?
Oh no! It's hey Lois, he wants to build a castle. Wrong griffin. Sorry.
I was asking if the griffin's any good with a shovel. Maybe he could help you out with that ditch, but.
30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
Oh, Knick-Knack brings a good point. What's your water sources like?
11, 12. So that is 52. I've got another 38 bits of wall, squares of wall I can do.
You can extend your wall out and form a space for your gatehouse.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Create a kill box.
Second, like a second Bailey out here. So I might do. is actually
Don't
instead of
forget your
erasing,
matriculations or Shadowversity will come after you.
instead of moving everything else, I'm going to move the tower. Put the tower here, and I'm going to. I'm getting grunting noises from Touchberry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring this out because that's almost nothing.
and you're barding.
And I'm going to move this wall back in a little for have 2 Baileys. And I'm gonna take some of that money that I'm not spending on wall, and I'm gonna add more towers. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. I am adding another wall though. Right.
The rabbit hole of stronghold creation.
Yes, I know. It's gonna I thought and the idea just design it during the live stream, like it's gonna be a simple little thing. It's gonna take forever. Water, who needs water? Just have a cleric on hand. That's a good idea. Will it have a shrubbery?
You
I think
won't
it
be
has
finished till next year for sure.
Well, the construction on basically just what I roughed out in my head was going to be like 6 months or something of dwarves working constantly. So it's going to be here we go. Here's our kill box. And I'm going to put the gatehouse. What do you think? Wide part of the wall, narrow part of the wall? What do you think?
If you put it on the narrow part of the wall, and you put the internal gate on the far side, that means they have to go all the way across
I
that
put it on the
courtyard to
narrow
get through.
part and have the inner gate be on the as far as possible away from it.
That's exactly what I was saying. That way they're under
idea.
constant arrow fire for about 100 feet before they...
Cool.
And rocks and oil and bees. And griffins with bees in their mouths, so when they screech, the bees come flying out.
I like that. I like that.
Your Simpsons jokes are lost on the Dungeon Minister. He apparently is not.
Would you call that monster a bee holder?
Oh,
yes, absolutely.
That was awful.
That was a honey of a pun.
I didn't mean to bug you guys with that one.
Oh, buzz off with that. Sorry, that was that was low-hanging fruit. That was.
Yeah, well,
it really stung.
So I gotta tell you this.
I'm outclassed here. Sorry.
The defensive mechanism. So the outer gate is here, the inner gate's there. They have to go all this way, and they get shot at all the way. But that the griffin can help and drop bees from its beak, and that makes it a bee holder.
Hey, if you got beehives on site, which is good if you want mead and honey for your food.
That's a downvote from the boys on that joke. Sorry, Bill.
That's okay.
Your joke has been canceled.
I think that wasp a good joke.
Oh,
I did wax humorously on that
one. Bob Johnny liked it. So you got that. You got Bob Johnny's vote of confidence. Okay. That's a good start. Just winging it. Ugh. Stock lots of ale. Nothing worse than unhappy. Well, we're paying them in ale evolution. We're just paying
Where's
them.
Bear when we need him? He hates puns. We'd be watching him just rise.
That's why he's not here.
Beautiful.
Chat is a buzz.
Oh. Bill's on fire today. Okay, let's see. So I had this can't be. I can't be also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 160. So 320. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So another 39 on that.
I'm sure the measurements are all suggestions, anyways.
Yeah,
If you're dealing with contractors, they are.
Make sure you have a lot of murder
kobolds to build your fort.
Yikes.
Well, the kobolds, that's one of the funny things in this game is that my character ended up befriending 2 of my companions are kobolds, and they, good heavens, they're like locusts. You
have 3 boys. The answer to that is yes.
You only just discovered that?
Oh man! But no,
Come home with groceries. Fridge is empty.
Yeah. So I have a couple of kobold friends, and for a little while, the kobolds they camped out in my front yard, a whole pack of them. They decided I was their new friend, and so they camped out in my front yard in town and wouldn't go away.
The locals must have loved that.
Yeah.
He brought monsters to town.
Yeah.
Not a disruption to anything, I'm sure. Okay, this is pretty good. And I said I would have a.
It's like having 2 chihuahuas out in your yard.
As it's a little more like having a neighbor move in and like, he keeps coyotes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Keep the coyotes are about it. So there we go. We've got some half rounds. We've got some towers. We got a Barbican, little smaller gatehouse here, and the original tower standing on the spot. Eventually, when I kill another dragon or something, or maybe that bee holder, if I get hold of that bee holder, I can put a keep in here and have a place to call home.
That outer entry you ought to put like an iron grate in the bottom of and have some coals ready to flare up to attack intruders. Then it can be a barbecue.
Oh, you went so far for that joke, Bill.
The thing is, there is a legit nasty defense you could build out of it. You have the coals going, and then have the gatehouse above have hot oil ready to drop down.
Oh,
so
yeah.
not only are they getting scalded on the way down, but when that oil hits the coals below, they get fire flaring up.
Yep.
Oil recommended to the engineer.
That's a very good idea.
It's
That's
a
a
whammy.
special request. So let's see. Let me go back here in the chat and see. We got also reinforce the pantry. That way you can shelter there during a siege and still have food and water. Good idea, Knick-Knack. Well, generally, wasn't the first floor of a defensible building wouldn't have an entrance. You would enter on, well, the ground floor for the British. You'd enter on the first floor, or what we would call the second story in North America. So the ground floor would have no access from the outside, and that's where you
avoid it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your donjon. That's where you keep all your stuff. The problem with feeding sons is that most animals get sick from eating people. Huh? Level 100 dad joke. Absolutely. Question for everyone. Here we go. Kobolds. Classic furry? I think you mean classically furry, not being a classic furry, as in
devil dogs all the way.
Not that kind of furry.
No,
or modern draconic.
Here's the thing: all the kobolds, like in the AD&D monster manual, the 1E monster manual, and various illustrations and such, they're lizard dog men.
Yeah, they're little devil dog scaly dudes.
Yeah, I've never seen a hairy kobold in first edition, original, or even earlier iterations of basic. I don't know if that's a 2E thing or later or 1E things or
I think it's one of those misconceptions that comes from them being described as dog-like.
Yeah.
So people just assumed furry. Like I don't believe for a minute that the original pig-faced orcs were literally supposed to be pig-faced. That was just the description they gave, and the artist just said, "I'll give them a full-on pig head."
Well, the first illustration of a bugbear it looks like a Sasquatch wearing a jack-o'-lantern. And no bugbears since then are like that. You could buy at Dungeon Hobby Shop back in the 70s. I think it was Dave Sutherland sculpted up jack-o'-lantern headed bugbear miniature.
The jackal bear in RuneQuest.
At the same time, somebody approved that art to go in and make it canon. So
yeah,
well, exactly. Or but did they? I mean, it's like, we have art. Fine, that's art. It's like.
Then they went to, and I wonder if there was kind of a lost in translation thing, like the kobolds. Like somebody was asking, "Hey Gary, what's a bugbear look like?" Well, they're like 7 or 8 feet tall. They're furry. They got a big wide head like a pumpkin, and
the best
like dimensions, not a pumpkin. And it just kind of went from there.
Literally went with the pumpkin.
Yeah, there's a fun evolution of that monster though through RuneQuest. Though it becomes the jackal bear, which is the version of the owlbear. And the early versions were literally that bear body it was like a bear body with a jack-o'-lantern for a head. And then later on, the latest sculpt of it is something that seems like zoologically possible. It's a fuzzy bear
the best
thing
illustration
with like a naked
of a
head
kobold,
that has
in my
a vaguely
opinion,
pumpkin-looking
is the
type
one
of
in
skull. What are you saying?
Grumpy?
Slan?
Yeah, I was gonna say the best illustration of a kobold is the one in the.
He's either speaking very slowly.
I think there's a lag, and so he's hearing interruptions.
Yeah,
It all went quiet on the stream.
It did. The best illustration
yeah.
of a kobold is
Survey says
the one in the Fort Slaver module. When you're trying to escape from that underground cavern and you have no equipment or nothing. But yeah, that's how I've always seen kobolds. That's the first illustration I saw, actually. That was
Right.
clearly a kobold and labeled as such. And it has a lizard-like tail. It doesn't seem to be furry, though. It has just, skin. So that's how
Right.
I've always seen them.
I always thought of them as being sort of like the Manx cat, but for dogs.
This
Like
the one you're
not necessarily
referring
furry,
to?
but he's actually got it here. He's pulling it up.
Is that the one? It looks like he's melting and made of
No,
ooze.
no.
Yeah, those guys are.
No, that's not the one.
They have the fungus that surrounds the myconid
He's sort of
layer.
sitting and looking at you behind over his shoulder. I'll try and find it.
For me, the kobold, I like them as doggish, not scaly, but not necessarily terribly furry either. A bit like a shaved dog.
I think it
Simply
might be
because
this one then.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's
Right.
that leans into like the 2E kobolds, because if you
Yeah,
remember
that's
the
the
2E
one.
Monsters Compendium, they were like short little goblinoids with the big bug eyes.
Yeah, they look kind of like goblin and imp crossbreed.
Well, and remember
Yeah.
in 2E they were leaning into that whole goblinoid family where they were all
Exactly.
related and
Yeah, I like them being a sort of separate thing and being more doggish.
Yeah.
Just because there's so many goblinoid tribes, right? There's so many
Yeah.
variations on goblin that you know what? And there's lizard men for scaly things. I want them to be doggish.
Yeah.
I seem to remember hearing a comment that they moved them over to the dragon's kin because they kind of figured that the humanoids
Can you
already
say that
had
again,
goblins
Eli?
and stuff.
In 2E, they were what?
2E, they were kind of bug-eyed goblin-looking guys. The kobolds. If you look at the Monstrous Compendium for second edition, the illustration that came in there, they have kind of like googly eyes and pointy ears.
My dark history section.
Do you have a dark history section?
No, it's all D&D. I mean, I got 5th ed in there, if that counts as dark.
Might be what he's talking about.
the little 5th ed section, but the rest it's you can see basic OSE, then you say first ed, then I've got my second ed stuff. Sorry, wrong. There we go. More second ed, and then some 5th ed stuff. So
for me, bugbears, no pumpkins involved, look like that figure from the toy line, the AD&D toy line from the 80s. You know, those rubber action figures, the wrong word for it because they don't do anything. They just sit there.
The actionless figure.
Actionless figure, yeah. All hairy.
With
not a
0
lot of
points of
clothing.
articulation.
Yeah, and because of the position it's in, you don't see the pointy ears on the thing. And if you look really close at the sculpt, you can see it does have them, but they're not terribly obvious. So I never imagined them as having pointy ears. So for me, they're almost monkeyish. They're like somewhere along the lines of Bigfoot, but ropier. So that's always how I conceived them. So that's how I imagine them. Hey-o, Imperial Ramblings. But so that in my head, that's when a bugbear shows up. That's what's showing up is that figure from LGN, LJN,
LJN. Yeah.
LJN.
By the way, if I could just butt in real quick, Imperial Ramblings. I you probably noticed it's been a couple months, but see the awesome Imperial Ramblings got me this when we met up for the Arkansas game in Alabama. So thank you very much, Imperial. My shock mount is in play, and I appreciate it.
And he is shocking us. He's using it to shock the internet.
Yes, I'm a shock jock now, officially.
Cool. So what 2024 is coming up. We're, well, I mean, I'm still about what 5.5 hours, 7.5 hours away. Yeah, 7.5 hours away from it. But other people are closer. What are your plans for in the gaming sphere for 2024? What do you got going on?
More games.
Other than coming to CleriCon, of course.
More games. I was actually looking to go to
games.
GaryCon, but they're sold out. Like
Are they?
all the
Oh.
badges are gone. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they're in like July, aren't they?
April. No, March. End of March.
Oh, that's right. March. It's Venger that does it in July. Yeah, they're in March. Which is March in Wisconsin, as Bill has found out, can be treacherous.
I have a list for gaming.
2 feet of snow last weekend of March. What the F, Wisconsin? What is wrong with you? No wonder you are the drunkest state of the 50.
Yeah.
You guys take the surge protector off, plug straight into Canada, freeze, and then get drunk when everybody else is thinking about, I think we could go to the pool today.
Yeah. For me, my plans are to actually get out into the local gaming community and meet people in person, because I've been here over a year now and still haven't met anybody in the gaming community.
Oh.
And also, I'm going to start running some games online again, so outside my normal one. Been talking about that for a while, but I need to just pull the trigger and do it. But other than that,
well, that's good though. I mean, that's a step into the community kind of thing. Make some connections. That's a good plan for 2024.
Yeah, I need in-person gaming buddies again. So badly.
I've been having the end of December was awful for the game shop game that I run. Just between Christmas, the lead up to Christmas itself, and the week after, there's no time. So we're not gaming until well into January, it looks like. I don't know.
I'm just going to return to my normal games. Like, I've been on hiatus since before CleriCon, and we've scheduled our first session back for AD&D First Ed, which is the continuation of the Night Below campaign. So that's happening on Saturday. Whole new team, and then of course I got to reschedule OSE and get all that going. That's it. Just more of the same, really.
Yeah.
I know I'm boring.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not boring at all. It's
Same here. 2 days ago. I was gonna say same here. 2 days ago, I killed my sister's character in the Gamma World campaign I'm running. So she's rolled up in U1. Our next game is in about 2.5 weeks. We'll see how that works out. And hoping to maybe run a game online, but the new job is keeping me very busy, so haven't had a chance to set that up properly, and just continue doing the same stuff.
Right. So you killed your sister's character. How did that go down?
Okay.
Is there sibling rivalry involved?
She was really no. Basically, we're running Legions of Gold and the first edition Gamma World sandbox, and they split the party. It's like, oh, there's this underground lair. We know there's an entrance there, and like 150 meters over there, there's another entrance. So like 2 of us are going to go one way, the other ones are going to go the other way, and my sister's character and someone else were,
Was it fair?
Yeah, it was actually. Like,
well, then you didn't kill it; they killed themselves.
They split the party. Never split the party.
Yeah, okay.
I split the party all the time.
Party all the
so
time.
What happened is the thing defending one entrance, which is what she approached. She fumbled her grenade toss. Yeah, she fumbled her grenade toss, and the thing attacked her.
How many characters have died?
The thing has 2 attacks, both hit, and on a 3D on 66, I got 25 points of damage, and she had 23 hit points left. So yeah.
Oof.
And because this is old school, there's none of this negative hit points or death saves or any of that stuff. It's no, You know, you see the character impaled on the pincers of this giant insect, blah blah blah. You know, and that was that.
Dead's dead. Dead is dead.
They didn't manage to kill it. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
But anyway,
RC
in
Gunner,
about 2.5 weeks, she's gonna have a new character, and
cool. Well, you can get some redemption there. Yes, RC Gunner, this is that is where I get the odd-looking monsters,
it'll
goblins,
be
and
fun.
troll. It's all the old rubber toys from the from the 1980s. It's my don't see any of you boozing yet. I'm having a beer, a root one.
I had grapefruit juice.
Yeah, there you go.
I just finished coffee.
Yeah, Eli just woke up. What are you talking about?
John,
oh no, I drink coffee all day. If you know me, I
Oh.
could be pounding espresso all day and I'll still fall asleep.
we forget John is close to midnight. It's only 4:40 p.m. in the afternoon for us. So
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. The old geek, you are over in old Blighty. And you're getting close.
Many years of security, working security, have ruined coffee for me.
I've got of course 2 games streaming Tuesday and Friday, and if Kyle wants to keep doing stuff in 20, which I think he does, Wednesday, I may tighten it up a little bit. I don't know. I'm feeling like the show's getting a little stale. I need to refresh it a little bit. I need to change some things up. I got my Monday night game that I play with my Discord group. That's been going for 9 years now. Let's see. I really, really want to go to at least like free RPG day this year. It's the 50th anniversary D&D. I think I pretty much got to coordinate with my FLGS about going down and running a games day for them.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun doing that at a shop. It's really a lot of fun.
It is. I gotta launch the second channel, the 3D printing channel, because the old YouTube algorithm really hates it when you cross the streams.
Yeah,
like
it does.
Yeah, like if I went out there, like one of my favorite pastimes watching videos on YouTube or watching car resto channels. I love seeing dudes take like a car that's been parked since 1985. And at the end of like an hour and a half video, they're driving it home like 500 miles, that is awesome. But if I did that, that would not get me the million views that they get. YouTube would actively seek to bury that and the rest of my channel for daring to have multiple stuff. So people that are like, no, just put the 3D printing on your regular channel. I won't subscribe to your 3D printing channel. I'm like, I'll miss you.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad because even doing live play on your regular channel can screw up your algorithm.
Yeah, it's too late for me now to fix that. But considering that in a year I've gotten 4,000 plus subs, granted off the back of Wizard stupidity, which I have no doubt there will be an endless supply of going into 2024, I'm not super worried about it. I mean, so it is what it is. But no, as far as as far as just gaming related, that's me in 2024. I guess in the back half of the year I'll be doing some writing stuff with Heidi Gygax and Eric Garland again, and hopefully Yang ends out. Hopefully he'll have some stuff for me to do.
Awesome. Speaking of Yang, I'm going to be on his channel on the 2nd of January at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So he posted the information about the upcoming live stream, and I said, "Oh, that's what we're going to be talking about." Okay, that's good. I'm glad I looked at that beforehand.
Hey,
I'll have some actual answers for him.
Throw his link up in the chat so folks can go over to his channel and sub there too.
That is a good point. So you think of these things because you do this all the time. I have to say, Bill, you were talking about when you think of the channel's getting a little stale. I don't think it is, but I want to say if you wanted to spice it up somehow, you wanted to do something with it, I got 2 words for you.
Nude live streams.
No, dancing girls.
Dancing girls. I was close. Dancing girls. I'll talk to Mrs.
No. This is a D&D show. He said dancing ghouls.
Oh, right. Sorry, it's a little.
They could be both.
It's true. True. Why not both?
Necromancy is a flexible art, but
some snarling flesh eaters with a couple of pasties, you know.
Pray for us, Dungeon Minister, please.
Here is the.
It's too late.
There is the link is up in chat. I think if you put it on the screen, I don't know if you can click on it when it's on the screen. I never can. When you put a link up below, on the screen itself, I can't actually click on it. So it's just over there in the chat. And Ye Old Geek is 3 beers down, 1 large port poured. Oh, Old Geek, you're gonna be. Well, that's going to be a good.
He's
New Year
crossing the alcohol streams.
Never cross the streams. Oh well.
I'm not gonna. Oh gosh.
I'm not saying it. So anyway, this is. I put it here again. I don't think you can click it on the screen, but
Yeah, you can.
It's over there in the chat, and because no one's going to copy that down. No one's going to be copying that down, but you can click on it over in the stream. But right click and on your. And if you're on your phone, don't, because you'll leave. But
create a community post about it as well in a day or two leading up.
Yeah, well, I've done a community post, and so has he, I think. So we'll probably bump it the day before.
I feel like you need some WWE press for that thing.
Oh, Elfbait putting the romance in necromancy. That's good.
Well,
Oh, that's good.
I am evidently the liberal West Coaster amongst the streaming crew.
And it shows. All right. So I had said there would also be an Ask Me Anything portion of this, which is pretty much always every live stream. Go ahead and ask anything, but I'll officially say it is an Ask Me Anything, so you can ask me anything. I may not answer it, but you can ask it. And so I don't know, I'm probably, and for that matter, people already have asked questions of the fine gentleman sharing screen with me. Hello, Fleetwood. If you want to ask any of us anything. And Uncle Brat's cracking open some port, too. So there you go. You old geek, you won't be alone.
I got some vanilla porter. I'm going to have one of those this evening. Maybe 2 of those. Maybe 4 of those.
General Nuts, can I be in one of your CleriCon games? Absolutely.
You were in the last
I don't know.
game.
Yes, I'll. In case there was anyone who was, you were in one. In case there's people who weren't here at the beginning, I will re-announce the dates for CleriCon 2024, October 25, 6, and 7 of this year.
So it's going to be all horror-based adventures, right?
Leading up to Halloween, you mean?
Exactly.
Why not? Somebody should. Sure. I'm sure somebody would run a Call of Cthulhu or
I would say
or Jason.
I would say the Poison Well one was pretty horrific in its own way.
Yeah.
The non-D&D. Are there any non-D&D based systems that you'd like to try out? You know what, Knick-Knack? I personally really enjoyed the one time I got to play Call of Cthulhu. I'd like to play that again. I think that was a lot of fun. Hello, Lightmane. It was a lot of fun when I got to play it at the first Guac, and I'm not hugely passionately interested, but there's some interest. I would like to play one of the old Star Wars role-playing games, because that looks kind of cool. Something I've never done anything like it. If others want to take a stab at that, hello, Nordic.
Oh, and thank you for reminding me, Dungeon Minister. Yes, I'll be running Guac 3 this spring.
Excellent.
Guac.
Do you have a date yet, or a general vicinity?
I don't want to do what I did this year, which was step on free RPG day. So I will I will see when Free RPG Day is this year and schedule it probably before then. I already have some guests lined up, and you better be there too, Dungeon. All of you guys better come to Guac. But Heidi and Eric are going to be there. Tracy's going to be there. Hoping to get Alan Hammock to swing by. This is all virtual, by the way. Its cost to you guys is $0. So please do check out the Guac. I will have all the information up soon. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll see it in community posts. So
you can find him at the Delver's Dungeon.
Yes.
I do believe I am already subscribed, so I'll keep an eye out for
you.
information.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're one of the first people I subscribed to when I started my show. So,
well, I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed back, so I better be.
I'll have to check and make sure YouTube didn't unsubscribe me to you.
Well, I have the dungeon you wrote, and I'm seeding it into my game, so we'll see if it turns up in a review cap.
Woo-hoo!
Excellent.
But I do things fairly sandbox, so they may choose not to go for it. They might not take the bait. So.
Even my crappy little encounter made it into his campaign.
And he's become a major villain.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, Dungeon Minister, let me just throw this out there for you. Halloween, of course, for the month of October, we on Friday nights we live stream a 4-episode Call of Cthulhu horror game. Do you want in? Can you commit to that on Friday evenings?
I think I can. I'd love to, but I will have to. And if James Keck is still out there, I'll have to pause my other game because there's only so many nights I can spend online. But if I can pause my Wednesday night and gain time there, then I think I can do Friday for a month. I'd love to try that because again, I had a lot of fun the first time.
Excellent. It's many months away, so you have plenty of time to coordinate, I'm sure.
And Ye Old Geek, you absolutely can run a game at CleriCon. You absolutely can.
Well, now
James, you can come back too. Loved having you for the first one. Sorry.
So, absolutely. Let's see. A little depressed. I thought there was a goblin wearing a black and red toboggan. Toboggan. A toboggan is a southerner. To a southerner is a knitted hat. Where would there be a black and red goblin wearing a black and red toboggan? Was that Touchberry? Don't know. Star Wars Original D6 is a lot of fun. I've never run it, but I've played and the mechanics were solid. Good.
Yeah, I played
yes.
Star Wars D6 in the 80s, and I remember liking it, but never delved into it.
It is excellent.
Hey, Knickknack's got a cool question there.
Ever restricted races or classes?
Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
No.
1E AD&D is my jam. That's what I do. I find people who come to me and passionately demand to play an evil alignment are coming at me to screw something up in the game with one single exception. I've seen somebody like, I want to get my Charlie Manson on at your table. So I generally, as a rule of thumb, don't allow it. I allowed it once, and the guy was absolutely brilliant, and it was a shock to everybody at the table that his character turned out to be evil. And as a result, that leaves out the assassin class in AD&D for me. So no evil alignments, which knocks the assassin out of the equation. So that's me.
I don't do alignment restrictions, but I do AD&D First Ed is also my jam. But for most games, I'll allow the core options without restriction. But it's when you start getting expansion options that I'm going to be like, nope. I get people asking, oh, well, Drow is an Unearthed Arcana. Nope.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh, absolutely no Drow. Pretty much the only thing out of Unearthed Arcana you're going to get out of me are a few ancillary spells and magic items. And if the game happened to go long enough, and if your demi-human happened to have those rarefied, astronomically high stats,
18 and everything, yeah,
to break a level cap that demi-humans have in the 1E player's handbook, then I would consider those. But I'm sorry, no barbarians, no cavaliers, no drow anything, no Duragar, just no.
Well, I curate them. Like, I do allow barbarians if they make the rolls. Yeah, I do allow the thief acrobat if anybody ever chooses to take one, which never happens. I don't allow the cavalier, but there are elements of Unearthed Arcana that I like. I like that that 2-point level cap boost for single class demi-humans in a class that can be multi-classed, right? So you get a single class dwarven fighter, then their level cap goes from 7 to 9. I like that I keep. But yeah, I curate it and I make a list, and so it's not a free for all. It's like you're playing within the parameters I've set out.
I think if Gary hadn't had to save TSR from creditors, Unearthed Arcana would have been a lot better thought out. I mean, let's just call it as it is right now. Unearthed Arcana was written to save TSR.
Mm-hmm.
You give Gary the time and the consideration to create a new AD&D rulebook, and I think it would have been a lot better. But that thing, was written, play tested, and published inside 6 months, and TSR went from a pre-tax profit of $4 to a post-tax profit of $23 million just on the sales of it. It reinvigorated AD&D for TSR, and I can't fault it for that.
Yeah, I swear, me and my group are, from what I hear, I mean, we had Unearthed Arcana and enjoyed it and played it and never had a problem with it in our groups. But
and that's awesome. That's absolutely.
Yeah.
All I'm speaking for.
I was surprised to start hearing all the negativity online when I started hearing people talk about it. I'm like, I love that book. Cavalier was one of my favorite classes. I played a barbarian. I played an acrobat.
One thing I'll say is, if I have a magic user who's insistent on using cantrips, none of the cantrips are game breaking. You want to drop a first level spell for 4 cantrips, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Hey, you cast 2 in a round. Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't do. I don't restrict anything in the core rules because in Beckby there's almost nothing there. But the gazetteers, I don't. I like when things come out and they start writing all sorts of options, and then I had, when I did my game shop game, the first session, actually before the first session, over on Discord as we were setting it up, this kid's asking, could I run a dragonborn cleric? I'm like, no, you can't. Here's the rule book. No, you can't. Fleetwood wants to say something.
Yeah, the way class is spent, not in Beckley, I never have. In 5e, for those of you who don't know, you can literally play an ooze.
Yeah, you can play an ooze apparently now in 5e.
Not in my 5e, sorry.
Yeah, not in Mage's Muses 5e, and not in Fleetwood's either. Like,
I limit and create new races and classes and stuff all the time. I have all the time since time immemorial, since back in the day. I mean, I'll run an all-human campaign where demi-humans are all NPC races, and I'll run demi-human-only campaigns for that matter. So
right.
Because I do it on a campaign-by-campaign basis. It's like, okay, we're going to play an all-dwarf campaign.
Yeah.
I just let the game.
I think it's more important to. I think it's more important to follow your setting than a bunch of rules. So even if there's a, 1E basic, race, I don't know, gnomes. If your world doesn't have gnomes, that's it. They're out. End of story.
My world didn't have gnomes for the longest time because it's the one D&D core race that I never liked. I could never find a place to put them. I'm like, I don't know what to do with them. They're not dwarves. They're not halflings. They're not elves.
Yeah.
Pick a lane.
Yeah. You know what I do? I like them as a creature in the monster section. I like them as a creature. I like the idea of a sort of tinkering inventor. You know the book that came out in the 80s or late 70s, I guess, Gnomes, the famous.
That's how I always saw them, and that doesn't fit D&D
Yeah.
as a
See,
player race.
I think it could, not as a playable race, no, but I think it could fit D&D as a creature, and that's how
Oh, yeah.
I kind of picture them. A little more tinkering, a little more slightly in a Dragonlance kind of crazy inventor direction. But no, as a playable, like they're so small. And then you're rolling your dice, and it's like, well, no, you can only roll 2 for a gnome or 1 for a gnome or something because you're this tall. It doesn't make any sense to me.
In one campaign, I reskinned them as just another subrace of dwarves.
Yeah, sort of yeah. So here, Todd's asking, how do you AD&D guys fall on the non-weapon proficiency?
I don't.
I used to use them, but I eventually got rid of them. I just use secondary skill.
Yeah, I don't. Same secondary skills. NWPs in WSG and DSG are so far outside the range. And I hate to throw this card down on the table, but as I discussed with Gary when I interviewed him, I asked him. I said, in retrospect, did you look at AD&D and think, gosh, I wish we'd put a skill system in there? And he said, no, absolutely not. AD&D is an avatar-based game. It's presumed that you can climb a tree, fix your shoe, swim across a river, ride a horse, make a snare to catch rabbits and squirrels, and all that jazz before you go out adventuring. It is literally just assumed, and I'm completely okay with that. If I play a skill-heavy game, then I'm completely okay with a skill-heavy game saying, no, you have to have shoe repair, snare laying for squirrels and rabbits, river swimming and tree climbing before you can do those things. AD&D is not like that, and I feel it cuts into a fast-paced fantasy adventure game. That's my take.
Yeah, I kind of figure for and this is not AD&D, but in BECME, that so recently we were playing a session and the party wanted to head due east, and my figuring is as long as they can get a bearing on the sun or stars, they're going to be able to find it, because this is a time when people didn't have accurate maps, they didn't have sat nav, they didn't have their
The
phone
characters
with
don't have a GPS. Like, what kind of DM are you?
So the people would have been used to reckoning on the position of the sun, the height of it above the horizon, judging time and direction from that, right? So when I wanted to lose them and have them not know which way they were, it was a while ago, and the sprites confused them and changed the position of the sun, at least as far as they could see. I mean, I don't think sprite magic can actually change the position of the sun, but it can make the illusion that it's in a different place, and the forest was so thick and they couldn't see it. And so that kind of skill, lighting a fire. No, you don't have to have a fire lighting skill. It's the only source of cooking and heat and light. Of course you can light a fire, right? All those things.
I always enjoy a skill system, but I feel like skill systems, people overplay their importance. And you do have those GMs who are like, oh, you don't have the skill for it, you can't light a fire. Well, that's just silly. Yeah. When I'm using the systems, it's doing the hard things with that fall into those skill categories that I would generally have people roll for. So I mean, I do like skill systems. I do feel that they mess up D&D because D&D wasn't written with them in mind. And so just like if you were to take a non-class based system and try and plug classes into it, it kind of screws it up. And D&D wasn't written with skills in mind. Secondary skills are easy enough to do too, and actually I tend to lean more on that as time goes by, because I'm like, you were a shoemaker, so you can do shoemaking things plus all the everyman skills that anybody in your time should have. So
right. No, we lost.
He said he had to go.
Oh, yeah, okay. I missed it in the
private
in the chat. Thank you very much, RC Gunner. Check the Discord crafting the game for my explanation about the goblin. Oh, you know what? I saw the comment go. You're talking about the miniature that has the You talk about the miniature that not the miniature, the figure that I use in the videos. Yes, he does. There's one with a sort of red headband kind of thing on him. He does look a little bit. He looked a little bit samurai, that one. Michael Mertig wants to know if anything we're looking forward to being released in 24. You know what? I just saw that there is an animated movie of the War of Rohan. I think that's what it's called. There's some Tolkien movie coming out
about Helm Hammerhead. Yeah, I saw an ad
late
for that,
like in December of 24. So that I'm really looking forward to.
They got Miranda Otto as Eowyn narrating the story or something like that.
Oh, beautiful. She's my other girlfriend. Emily Blunt.
I can't keep up with what's coming on Game
Morgoth. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Let's see. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything coming in 24?
I am interested to see. I don't know that I'll put it on early order. I'm interested to see what this history of the creation of Dungeons and Dragons book that the people in Renton, Washington State, who are a function of Hasbro, will be putting out. It will contain in its entirety original D&D. How useful that will be as a rule book, I don't know, because I have a feeling that they're going to MST3K it. You're going to get a page of rules, then a bunch of commentary from people whose reading comprehension does not extend beyond a text block on a Magic the Gathering card. I mean, one of those people said in the release video when they were talking about this book, then you too will be able to follow me on my journey as I read original D&D and said, how is this a game? Like, really? I mean, are you that thick, my friend? So I approach it with a tiny bit of hope and a whole lot of trepidation. But I have a feeling that they're going for coffee table book with this and less reverent, hey, this is the roots of the game and you can try it. You can see if this is something you'd like, and more like, if you guys remember when Heinrich Schliemann discovered Troy, and his methods of digging for artifacts literally involved like just digging giant holes in the ground and throwing stuff out till he found something made out of gold. Yeah. I have a feeling that will be more Wizards' approach with this, but I'm interested to see what it is, and I will probably attempt to acquire a copy to review unless I'm just too infuriated by them. Honestly, I think if they hadn't screwed up the entirety of 2023, they would be releasing this now, because the 50th anniversary of the release of D&D is like 15 days away. It was released in the middle of January 1974. So if they had not had so many fires to put out, they probably would have had it out already. So I'm interested to see what that's going to be.
Bob Hastings asked if he could run a BX game at CleriCon 2024. Absolutely. What's my favorite monster from the creature catalog that I've not used but want to in my game? Well, since all three of my boys are right here at the moment, I don't know that I want to release that information. No, I can talk about it. Let's see. You know what I would really like to actually explore is other. I've used dragons, but other colors of dragons, because of the setting, because of the events of the world. They've been fighting against the white dragon menace from the north, but I really like some of the other chromatic dragons. I think that's pretty cool.
Beware the mauve dragon.
The mauve dragon, the pink and yellow polka dotted dragon, very dangerous.
Plaid dragon.
The plaid dragon.
Fleetwood wanted to.
It's a Highland Drake, but
blue dragon. That there you go. So I would like to do other dragons. Orcs, actually. They've had some brief encounters with orcs, but there's a large orc nation just east of my map that's kind of waiting to break into things. So that's that for me. That would be for me. Let's see. I got to catch up on the chat here. Good heavens. So long as the people who animated the Dragonlance movie aren't involved, Nick Nack is happy. Yeah. Well, I'm a little leery just of anything new coming out, you know. But it used to be when something of an IP that you really liked would be released, you'd be like, yeah, they're making a movie of this. They're making a movie. There's a Batman movie coming out. That's going to be awesome.
The goodwill's all but spent.
Yeah, but I still remember people hating that Batman movie when it came out, saying it wasn't like the comics and it wasn't like the TV series, and it wasn't like.
Which the fact that it wasn't like the TV series was the saving grace of that movie, because the TV series is fabulous, but 2 straight hours of that. I mean, there was the Batman movie right off the bomb.
You're always going to have haters. They just have a better mouthpiece now.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Sometimes you just get rid of a bomb. I love that. But I mean, and I do remember when they announced Michael Keaton playing Batman, people were like, "Are you kidding, Mr. Mom?"
Even I was like, "What, Mr. Mom?"
Yeah,
exactly.
Mr. Mom's gonna be, but he did a fabulous job. There was people saw, the casting. The director knew that there was something else there, right?
I remember the comment made about why they cast him. Actually, is like if he was built like Arnold Schwarzenegger, some big badass guy, he wouldn't need to dress like a bat.
Yeah.
To go terrifying criminals, and you just have to run around the streets and bully them.
Yeah. And everybody would know who it was. I kind of felt that way about the who's the last guy to play him? Not the Pattinson.
Affleck?
No, Pattinson.
Not before Pattinson, so not the last. Clooney? Good heavens, there's been a lot of them. What's it?
George Clooney?
No, Christian Bale.
No, what was that?
There you go, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Thank you. There's been a lot of people played that character. Good heavens.
Yeah.
I'm perennially stuck in the early 2000s where there's been 4 Batman movies. But no, the Christian Bale character, I feel like everyone would know because he's so brooding and dark and muscular, and everyone knows that he's Batman. Who would okay, he's extraordinarily athletic, brooding and dark, and he's got gobs of money. Well, it must be Bruce, because look at it. Yeah. But if you look at Michael Keaton, well, he's got a lot of money. He's kind of moody. Look at him. He's harmless.
And that was one of Burton's, reasons for casting him, is that he does not look like a guy. He looks like a guy who needs a bat suit to be intimidating and scary.
Yeah. I remember there was this. I heard this third hand. This may or may not be true, but I want it to be true. But Adam West, when back in '89, when they announced the casting and everything, Adam West was going on about how he was just inconsolable for weeks because they didn't.
The whole Adam West cried thing,
they were going to put you on film next to Jack frickin' Nicholson. Okay, yeah, that was going to happen, Adam.
And by that time, Adam West was how old? I mean,
he was in his 50s.
Hire him to play the butler.
And here's some dream casting. If we're going to have Adam West as the movie Batman, then we need to actually put him against a different actor for Joker. We can put him against Shatner as the Joker.
I like that.
It's the overacting double team.
Cesar Romero. My orcs, are they pig-faced or Peter Jackson-esque? I have to say, I know we have some pig-faced, diehards here, but mine tend to be more Jackson-esque. But the reality of it is, it kind of depends on the minis. That's how they'll be. That's what they'll be.
Can I just give a shout out to my ape-faced orcs from Grenadier, the original Grenadier orc minis. That they had these almost ape-like faces on them. Yeah. I thought those were pretty cool.
I always leaned really hard into the the Elmore style orcs. If you ever see any of Larry Elmore's orcs, they're kind of like those ape-faced orcs.
I don't know that I can remember an Elmore, because I mean, Beckme's full of Elmore.
When I was a kid, the pig-faced bugged me because I knew about Lord of the Rings orcs and stuff like that, and then now I love them. But I still don't think that it was ever supposed to be a literal description. So,
well, if you look at the cover of what's the cover of keep on the border. Yeah, it's keep on the borderland with the blue noses.
Those are hobgoblins, though.
Those are hobgoblins. Yes.
Orange skin,
They're
blue
hobgoblins.
noses, Asian
Yeah, there
armor.
you go. Yeah.
Yep. Those are hobgoblins.
I pulled out the
Hobgoblins
book
with blue
because
And they're in
Light,
daylight. That's the
Yeah.
big giveaway.
Lightning was talking about ordering the Goodman Games book, so I was going to ask him if this is the one he ordered, and yes, it's actually really well done.
I enjoy it.
Yep.
Cool.
But yeah, the Elmore orcs are really cool.
You have all three kinds, Cal says. Do you mean in minis or in your game? When you play, are there different tribes of orcs that look different? Do different groups of orcs look different enough that there could be pig-faced orcs from the west and Peter Jackson orcs from the north? You have that kind of variety going on, and monkey-faced orcs from the south or something.
But then when you get into that, I'm going to ask you, what are the evolutionary pressures that make you evolve a pig face instead of
Well,
Evil
no.
Wizard did it.
Though I
There
have to say,
Here you go, evil wizard.
in the same vein that I like my kobolds to be doggish because there's too many goblinoid races.
No.
If you make the orcs pig-faced, it does there's a whole other, it separates them off.
Yeah.
But there's a whole other line there. That tree split a long way down, right?
I think
Just
one
up
of
from
the
the trunk.
best depictions of sort of pig-facey orcs that aren't literally pig-facey is in RuneQuest, the lesser trolls, which are basically orcs. They have kind of long, snouty faces that are vaguely piggish, but not so much piggish, more, and so they look kind of cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Kind of like the old Asgard miniatures orcs.
Oh, well, there's the answer to how they got that way.
One thing though, it's like I'm rereading The Lord of the Rings, and I've been looking for this description. Was Tolkien never describes the orcs other than they're swarthy. He mentions that they're bandy-legged and ugly, but he does it he doesn't launch into they have they have thin lips and slanted eyes and pointed ears or anything like that. He just says they're bandy-legged, stooped, swarthy, and ugly, and that's it. So, but I've never gone. But he does not describe them as being green.
No,
no, that's a Warhammer 40k thing.
Yeah,
it bugs me that ever since goblins and orcs are always green. It's not even 40k; it's a Warhammer fantasy thing. But
well, how far back does that go though? Because I think those LJN figures, the goblins are green.
That's somebody at the toy company going, "It's a goblin; it must be green."
It's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man, the Green Goblin.
Green Goblin, yeah.
And they're supposed to be orange. But speaking of Warhammer,
the ogre was orange. For some reason.
Can I give a quick mention of this, Dungeon Minister, about about Brian Ansell? Brian Ansell was he was the creator of Warhammer Fantasy and the co-founder of Citadel Miniatures. He passed away yesterday.
Yep.
He's a huge figure in the hobby. 55 to 23. So it's
Brian Ansell.
Yeah. I mean, I always have had at least a few Citadel figures, old Citadel fantasy figures on my shelf, and his stuff was.
Paladin is a Citadel character.
There you go. And Citadel, to my mind, Citadel is the only company that ever did a proper Umber Hulk. They have been getting increasingly water bug over the years. Citadel made a squat, no neck guy with big beetle pinchers and bug eyes, and that was the only proper Umber Hulk that anybody did. Now, of course, they cost a bank if you find one online. But
did looking at their eyes confuse you?
A little bit, yeah. It gets worse. It gets worse now that I'm older. I need my reading glasses to see all that detail.
Hello, Low Games.
Low Games.
But yeah, Brian Charles Ansell, you will be missed. Knick Knack, 2 thin coats of paint, please. Not just one block. 2 thin coats, brother.
2 thin coats. All right. Well, gentlemen, we're at about 5:20 here, and I've got boys who are. Oh, Steve just showed up. Hello, Steve.
No, Steve.
I've got boys who are getting increasingly wolf-like as dinner gets near, and I'm on dinner duty tonight. My wife is working, but I'm going to, before we go, going to repeat the news. CleriCon 2024, October 25th through the 27th. Will Mage's Musings be there? He says he intends to be.
I
yes.
plan to be. Yes.
Yeah. So we get a thumbs up from Touchberry. He enjoyed
Yeah.
playing in your game last time.
His appearance is the next video up, just so you guys know.
So the next video Mage's Musings does. I've got the headphones, so he can't hear.
80% finished, so it should be up hopefully this week if I can get my focus on and get on it.
Well, I'm in that post Christmas. You're just full of cheese and nuts and cookies, and you don't really focus on anything. So I've been getting the next episode for our game, for the Honeywood campaign, is taking forever for me, but we've gotten there. Anyway, so that's first. I want to repeat the news. October 25, 26, 27 of 2024 is CleriCon 2024. That's when it's happening. And Ye Old Geek, if you're coming over from Old Blighty, that would be fabulous to see you. And I saw Andy earlier was saying he was going to try to make it as well over from the UK. Maybe you'll meet at the airport and can sit together and have a drink on the way over. I got the RC Gunners off to do a marathon BattleTech game. Fabulous. Just before we go, though, Fleetwood wants to, and I hope it plays through my microphone. He wants to, yeah, here we go.
Well done, Fleetwood.
Thank you, Fleetwood.
That was wonderful.
A very, very happy New Year to you. Thank you for joining at the New Year's Eve afternoon live stream. Thanks everyone, and thank you to Sean and Eli and Bill and Grumpy, Renee, for joining in the stream as well. Thank you very much for being part of it, and thank you everyone in the chat.
World, Padre.
Thanks. Yeah, that's great. It's great to have you here, and thank you for everyone in the chat, especially the supers that isn't there a way you can find out? Yes, there it is. To Bill and Uncle Brat and Nick Knack and Richard and RC Gunner and Bear, thank you very much for the super chats. That's very kind of you. All proceeds will go to keeping the Dungeon Ministry running, including the purchasing of minis, larger and more terrifying, with which to challenge the players, terrain, and snacks. So all of that and more. Thank you so much, and we will see you. We'll see you anon.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, folks.
Oh, so Merlinster Gandalore, Fleetwood is sending help. The Heroes of Honeywood are going to kind of try to help him get out away from that lich. So
the Tomb of Horribleness is well defended.
Well, okay. Well, that'll be a challenge. Happy New Year, everyone.
See you later, folks.
Bye.